A frustrating pattern plays out every single day, and good men everywhere are left confused. She claims to want a gentle, honest partner, yet her actions tell a completely different story. Time and again, she gravitates toward a man who is more detached, more challenging, and less predictable. The agreeable guy gets friend-zoned. The more assertive man occupies her mind. This isn't some random glitch. It's a consistent, powerful force. And today, we're going to uncover the raw, psychological truth behind it. This video isn't endorsing poor behavior. It's explaining the hidden structure of genuine attraction. Why does a part of her respond to confidence, independence, and emotional strength? Because deep within, an ancient instinct is asking one primal question. Is he strong? Not simply, is he nice? The answer lies in survival wiring, where attraction follows biological signals, not modern politeness. Leading researchers like David Buss have shown this for decades. Women's mating strategies shift based on context. In certain scenarios, traits like boldness and self-focus are subconsciously read as signs of high status and capability. To the logical mind, this seems backwards. To our deepest instincts, it makes perfect sense. Three hidden forces explain this dynamic: the craving for emotional intensity, the instinctive radar for true strength, and the magnetic pull control depth. When these converge, the predictable man becomes background noise. The man of impact wins attention. This isn't about your worth as a person. It's about misunderstood biological signals. The kind man offers comfort. The intense man creates a memorable imprint, and that imprint lasts. What you'll learn might feel unsettling, but it will bring clarity. Being passed over for someone who seems less devoted isn't a verdict on your character. It's a glimpse into primal attraction patterns. Understand the system, and you stop blaming yourself. You start learning how to be seen, not by acting callous, but by ceasing to be easily overlooked. Layer 1. Her mind is wired for emotional resonance, not flatline kindness. Here's the common mistake: giving excessive warmth too early. Providing security before establishing a genuine presence. He tries to win her with unwavering stability, while her nervous system is subtly activated by something else entirely. Contrast. For many, the consistently nice man becomes too familiar. He doesn't generate that compelling tension, that alertness the body can mistake for sparks. He becomes part of the routine, and routine never ignited passion. This is the core error, assuming she only seeks calm, when her biology actually seeks aliveness, not drama, but authentic emotional charge. This is the man who maintains his own momentum, isn't perpetually on call, has standards, and doesn't seek approval. The average man attempts to attract with ease. The exceptional man attracts through compelling contrast, and contrast defeats monotony every time. Science confirms it. Our brains release more dopamine when a reward is uncertain versus guaranteed. Unpredictability commands focus and locks in memory. This is why some women feel pulled toward men who are less available or more self-contained. It's a variation: attention, then purposeful silence. Focus on her, then back to his mission. That builds emotional peaks. The agreeable guy doesn't create these peaks. Thus, her desire isn't sparked by, "I'll always be safe." It flickers to life with, "I'm never quite sure what he'll do next." It's not about real peril. It's the aura of a man who is dynamic and self-directed. Total predictability extinguishes intrigue. Measured unpredictability, paired with inner fortitude, kindles attraction. Many misinterpret this. It's not about being mean. It's about ending total emotional transparency. Predictability is the silent killer of desire. Psychology indicates traits like assertiveness and self-interest can be attractive short-term, as they signal independence and decisiveness. The agreeable man often fails because he adjusts too much, concedes too much, seeks harmony too much. This whispers, "My priority is your approval," and respect rarely follows that. The fix isn't to become unkind. It's to cultivate compelling presence. Offer deep, focused attention, then return to your own world and goals. Don't answer every text instantly. Don't share your entire heart on day one. Don't shift at the first sign of friction. True intensity isn't loud or rude. It's depth, purpose, and direction. A man who embodies this ceases to be forgettable. Before we dive into the most raw layer of this, the one that connects instinct, risk, and choice on a fundamental level, you need this reality check. Most men believe they understand women, but they're mistaken. They collect pickup lines, watch scattered videos, or just guess. Consequently, they confuse being nice with having high value, being available with being submissive, and being stable with being boring. They miss that female choice often operates through subconscious channels, governed less by logic and more by ancient biology and feeling. If you truly want to understand female psychology, not the sanitized version, but the real, operational truth, you need a clear framework. The code of connection is precisely that. A complete system for men who wish to decode what's really happening behind her words, her quiet moments, her subtle tests. This isn't about memorized routines. It's about strategic behavior, nonverbal communication, reading emotional cues, and the neuroscience of attraction applied to real life. It's the knowledge that separates men who follow from men who naturally lead. If you're ready to move from observing patterns to influencing them, this system is your essential guide. Layer 2. The instinctive scan for strength and resilience. One critical error destroys a man's appeal, and most make it while thinking they're being noble. Confusing kindness with a lack of backbone. They believe that by being endlessly accommodating, patient, and always there, they are demonstrating maturity. But to her primal instinct, this can signal a fear of conflict or a fear of loss. The good man thinks he's being honorable. Her deeper intuition may quietly view him as someone easily managed. Evolutionary psychology is clear on this. Throughout human history, women needed to identify partners who could provide protection, maintain social standing, and navigate competition. Men who couldn't enforce boundaries or compete effectively were often sidelined. That instinct persists today. She isn't consciously asking, is he polite? She's sensing, is he capable and respected? It's not about virtue. It's about survival capacity. Here's the crucial nuance. The so-called harsh man often isn't cruel. He simply values himself without apology. He knows his worth and won't bargain for affection. This isn't aggression. It's quiet, grounded confidence. A woman responds to this solidity because it signals security and capability, not because she enjoys mistreatment. Meanwhile, the man who endlessly adapts fades into the scenery. Excessive agreeableness doesn't make you magnetic. It makes you interchangeable. Social science backs this. Men who are self-assured, principled, and able to navigate disagreement are often rated as more attractive, especially in initial encounters. What truly draws her in is steadfastness, not harshness. It's the man who isn't terrified to occasionally disappoint, because her instinct doesn't crave obedience. It seeks a solid foundation. Respect is drawn to strength, not submission. The goal isn't to pretend to be tough. The goal is to rebuild what many men have surrendered. Clear mission, non-negotiable standards, and a life that doesn't orbit another's emotions. A man who leads his own life is perceived as strong, not selfish. His world progresses without external validation. This shifts everything. The agreeable man pauses for her. The grounded man continues his path, and she is naturally inclined to join him. Motion and purpose are magnetic. The sense that she must engage with a man who already has direction. When you hold your center under pressure, when you don't yield to every minor challenge, you broadcast the most vital signal. You are internally solid. Structural integrity always outlasts fragility. This is what her deeper mind values, even if she never articulates it. Layer 3. The depth factor and the allure of substance. There's an unspoken reality many men miss. Some women find themselves repeatedly captivated by men who are complex and somewhat challenging. This isn't masochism. It stems from a timeless narrative embedded in our psyche, the allure of engaging with depth, intensity, and substance. While the open book reveals everything immediately, the man of depth unfolds gradually. It is in this unfolding that fascination builds. There's solid science here. The human brain responds to engaging complexity with heightened focus and dopamine. Moderate, compelling tension increases alertness and emotional resonance. Without full awareness, some are drawn to this blend of safety and stimulating depth because it forges powerful, lasting memories. The comfortable man offers peace. The substantial man offers vibrancy and awakening. She doesn't want instability. She wants to feel truly engaged. A man with inner substance ignites a psychological richness that mere predictability cannot match. This is why certain men are remembered for years, even if they weren't ideal long-term partners. Research on memory confirms intense, meaningful experiences are etched more deeply. It's not about right or wrong. It's about psychological impact. The substantial man is not the abusive man. Ethics are paramount. Authentic magnetism comes from intensity channeled with integrity, presence paired with self-control. The energy that attracts is not predatory. It's the energy of a man who is confident, centered, and self-possessed. He engages her, doesn't play games, and remains authentically himself. He doesn't perform darkness. He demonstrates unwavering inner strength. This fusion creates real power, masculine presence coupled with emotional maturity. He activates parts of her mind and spirit that a neutral, overly familiar man cannot reach. To be truly compelling, you don't need an edge of cruelty. You need authentic depth and full presence. Women don't yearn for pain. They yearn for profound feeling. They don't want to be hurt. They want to be fully engaged. And without emotional substance, that engagement is impossible. This is the ultimate key. Depth with control, presence with purpose, intensity with integrity. This transforms a man from ordinary to indelible. Conclusion. A timeless principle reminds us that people are pulled toward what feels real, impactful, and transformative. Viewing male-female dynamics through this lens, everything becomes clear. It isn't callousness that attracts. It's the psychological substance that sometimes appears as callousness when misunderstood. A woman doesn't form a deep bond with a man whose only offering is comfort. Comfort without substance becomes stale. Comfort without depth makes no lasting mark. Comfort without a core renders him invisible. Our three layers make it plain. Resonance over flatness. Her psychology responds to engaging emotional dynamics, not just pleasantness. A man who creates moments of genuine engagement becomes memorable. Strength over supplication. Instinctively, she recognizes inner fortitude, self-respect, and purpose as high value. Modernity doesn't override biology. She is drawn to someone who can stand firm in life. Depth over superficiality. There's a primal appeal to men who possess substance, mystery, and purpose. The man who is an open book, who stimulates curiosity naturally. The lesson is straightforward, yet challenging. If you remain only pleasant, predictable, overly accommodating, or too soft, you risk becoming the man she likes but doesn't passionately desire. The man she sees as reliable but doesn't feel deeply for. The man she calls great but doesn't feel ignited by. Kindness without strength is often perceived as weakness. Kindness without depth can feel empty. Kindness without boundaries is self-erasure. This clarifies why many good men lose to men who seem less good. Not because they are better, but because they deliver what was missing. Authentic psychological and emotional impact. If you want to stop being overlooked and start becoming the kind of man who leaves a lasting impression, who inspires genuine attraction and commands deep respect, you must understand these psychological underpinnings. You need to know how real desire operates on an instinctive level. You must master the language of presence, compelling behavior, and authentic confidence. None of this is about cheap tricks or fake lines. It's rooted in behavioral science and human dynamics. To learn this in a structured, practical, and meaningful way, the Code of Connection is your roadmap. There, you'll discover how to blend strength, depth, and ethics to become a rare man. Unforgettable, authentically attractive, and truly present. You don't need to be harsh to be captivating. You need to master what genuinely matters. If this video brought you clarity, do me a solid, hit the like button. It truly helps the channel, Winds of Thought, reach more people who need this.